So anyway, what I'm trying to explain to Maribel is I could kind of feel she just kind of wanted more sex. But what I was trying to do is get her to commit, if you know what I mean. Well, okay, um, reason being is she was with another guy, and she seemed more trusting of him to live with him than to live with me, right? But problem is, if we're having sex and she's not doing anything with him, he's the one she might have to worry about, if you understand what I mean, right? Not me. I have no access to her outside of the time she decides she wants sex from me, then I gotta wait for her. Right? Exactly. So I have to wait for her to find the time to get to me to make love to me or whatever we're doing, right? But I'm not the one, okay, picking the days. Sometimes it's just when I make it up to Virginia. Right? Right. Okay, the last 3 times I had to meet her. The first time in July was okay. The second time in August is where we got caught. And the third time in September was to be the last time period because she wouldn't commit to move to me with Georgia like she said in December. See, like I said, I felt like she was just stringing me along anyway. But none of it was to get her pregnant. Which again, right, I can't do unless someone messes with her birth control pills. See, here's another question. Why would I cheat on her around that time? Because I'm about fed up with her, right? Not to get her pregnant. See, if cheating on a woman got a woman on birth control pills pregnant, there might be a lot of babies out there causing that shit. Yeah. but, if it was cause they didn't want a baby, right, I was down with that. Mm-hmm. In fact, I was trying to break up with her before again, right, that happened. If you understand what I mean. Right. See, my ideal of her was to get her to be my girlfriend and trust me and move in with me and be my girlfriend, right? And us get married when she was ready, right? Not force her to get married or get pregnant when she wasn't ready either. I know better than that. See, if a woman just wants sex from you, you're more of a rebound, which is what I felt like, right? I told her that too, right? But if she don't want your baby, right? She don't want your baby. And I can't punch that card without assistance, right? Because I don't have access to a mortgage bills. Now, the problem is, though, if someone does, right, and they mess with them, of course, they're what? Messing with her and me, right? Now, had they just waited another month, they might have had their own shot with her, you know what I mean? And then by the time she met Scott, if she's telling any semblance of the truth, right, it was 3 months too late, right? But I also told her women on birth control pills still have menstruate, even if they're pregnant, right? Because I met a girl who told me the same thing happened to her when she first got on it, and she still menstruated for 4 months. And didn't know she was pregnant until 4 months later. So they've been having a lot of sex. See, there's 2 ways on birth control pills to get pregnant. One, you start having sex before the birth control pills really kick in. That's how she got pregnant with her husband. Another way is someone messes with them who has access to them, and she supposedly is living with some guy named Steve, right? That's all I know. But she says she's not having sex with him. Just me, just you. So again, right, nothing I can do about that, right? Right. So she seems split personality towards me to begin with, right? So I'm the last person to expect her to call me 3 years later and tell me this story, right? Because, she's on birth control pills all the time. And I never heard of a woman getting pregnant by just cheating on her while she's on birth control pills. Right. that would just kind of be part of the breakup rather than just knowing she would get pregnant by me cheating on her, right? Now, like I said, right, though, it wasn't immediately that I cheated on her. I gave her enough time to what? Figure out if she wanted to commit or not, right? Now, you're driving back and forth between Georgia to Virginia, which is an 8-hour track there and back, right? I mean, it takes 8 hours there and 8 hours back. So you're not going up there for just a piece of pussy. You want the girl to commit. If she don't commit, what happens then? You break up with her, right? Now, I gave her 7 months to either commit or not. She didn't commit. I met a girl briefly through my stepbrother. We had a little affair for about 2 weeks, right? We broke up, though, too, right? Because, see, I felt like something was holding her back. Her mother was treating her more like a child than an adult, right? She was wanting to move out into the world and, get an apartment and stuff like that. I had other issues, right? I was working part-time at Labor Founders, right? Things like that at that time, too, right? When I met her, the beginning of September. So, like I said, only the birth control pills, though, have to be tempered with one of two ways by her. One is Stephen convinced her to try to get pregnant by him. Another way is he fought with him himself, right? But those are the only two ways, right? Now, what tells me the story ain't the birth certificate. It's her and her husband. So I don't trust the story 100% either because I can't, right? She's not giving me what you would call real proof, right? See, anyone can forge a birth certificate too, can't they? Well, someone's claiming, no. Now, I should be making at least the honor roll, not the dean's list, fool. Which is from 3.5 to 3.9, right? But, the dean's list is 4.0. Well, the only way you can make the dean's list is if they're sabotaging your answers, right? And know it, and you're answering right, right? And someone's trying to sabotage the answers. But you're answering right, And if they go over the test, they would see that, right? Okay. Now, the problem they seem to be pretending I have is in math. But the problem is, okay, some of the questions, right, is like you got 10%, right? And then you want to add 35% and 5% of a certain solution, right? Of a certain compound, right? To each. Make it 10%, right? As well. Now, the thing is, the answer has to fit 35 and 5%, right? So I picked the only logical answer that can fit that. Yet the test marked it wrong. I only got a 75 out of 100, right? Which is a little awkward because, I worked on all the questions and mainly got them from the book. Now, there was a few I didn't really understand. They asked me, like, something having to do with which medication might not need a child resistance container, right? And some of the drugs I knew children couldn't take at all, like 500 milligrams of Tylenol. Yeah, children don't take that, right? Hydrocodone, they can't take that in any amount. That will require tamper resistance, right? There was only two, right? And both of them had to do with calcium. One of them had to do with the calcium channel blocker. And the other one had to do with nitroglycerin. Right. But it was like 0.3%. Right. Now, what you gonna guess with all that? Mm-hmm. The 0.3 nitroglycerin. It was the lowest amount of the drugs given, right? I don't know. I don't know. Right. But I wouldn't put any of them in a child resistant bottle. Right. Because I know most of them have to do with heart attacks. Hydrocodone has to do with pain, so that's not right. But it's 500 milligrams. Damn. Right, you don't give that much to a child. I'm taking 81 milligrams just for my heart, and yeah, that's about a little bit much. That's a little bit much for a child, right? So I know it wasn't that answer, right? I know you don't give a child any hydrocodone, right? That's what? A certain class of drug. It's 1, 2, or 3, right? If it's in the top 3, you can't use it with the child at all, right? So the 2 I was left with was either a calcium channel blocker, right? Or nitroglycerin, right? But it's called nitrostat. Nitrostat, right? Yeah. I'm just reading my little book here, Pharmacy Technician Exam Review by James J. Misner. And I'm remembering the questions from the test tonight that I got on my test. Right. Now, like I said, I just picked what I thought was the lowest amount of the drugs up there any damn way. I wouldn't give any of them to a child. I wouldn't put any of them in the child resistant bottle. Right? A non-child resistant bottle, I think, was what it was saying. Maybe I got the question mixed up or something, too. Right? A little confusing there. But y'all need to figure something out. Maybe not.